So today I'm going to be putting together one of the pieces from the bags that I have up of where I've put together the elements I need, put them in a bag, come back to them later. And for this one, I'm going to do with another of the ideas that I came from that snake book. As you saw me looking through it, I bookmarked a couple of pages, so it gave me a couple of ideas. I like the way that this snake curled around things, as you can see when I pull these out of here. Have them here. I've got it coiled around a missile. So there's a war thing going on here. Now I had to look through some of my source materials to find the right pictures of some missiles, and I did only find some of the rocket ones, but then I found what better from one of these. Previously I found some more source material in my attic I didn't know about, and there were some of these in here. These are literal ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Although technically the Trident one is a submarine launched ballistic missile. I'm guessing the French one will be as well, and that this SSN-8 might be as well. But basically nuclear missiles. These are actually literal nuclear capable missiles. I'm not sure about these original Titan ones, but some of these huge massive ones, they are. And I think the Poseidon is a submarine ballistic missile. The Minuteman ones, they're the ones you usually find in most missile silos in America. But anyway, so I thought it would be apt for this. So I've got to find one with the correct thickness and that would work well. And I think this SS-17 might work well with it. And you've got in the background, I found this picture of a fetus in the womb, a scan of one. So I thought that might work well with the whole thing of life and death. So, and the snake, the snake and the missile are the darkness, and this is the light, the life that's being imperiled, really. So let's get all our gear together. I've got all this, and we shall put all this together, shall we? Hello again. So I've got another bit of my kit together. Is my handy gluing book, my How It Works television book. I mean, I'm still going to use the pictures from it, but because that's cool on its own. But the back here is now traditionally become almost my gluing pad, and my traditional gluing pad. So let's get rid of this baggie, although that's what I'll end up putting the finished piece in probably. And let's cut out the first thing I'm going to cut out. Now obviously that's not going to be cut at all, apart from at the end when it's going to be trimmed. So I've even thought of this moment while I'm doing this, thought the name for this. So the reveal, you'll have that revealed in the end. So I'll trim this so it's just out the way. I'll go in the recycle bin. I mean, all the scraps that I don't use, that's basically what happens to them. I recycle it all. So, and also, I'll get rid of some of this around the edge, just so I'm not fighting against so much. I've already made my first real cut of the piece. Now, things like this are fairly easy, so I can actually cut quite quickly. The only possible issue is the fact that you've got this little bit of tree there, and I can't think of a way really how I could take it off and it not look weird. It's a toss-up as to what looks most weird, the little bit of tree being there or it not. And I'm concerned it might make the snake look a bit too misshapen. And you also have the issue of the fact that the coil of the snake in reality will go around there, so I'm going to have to curve this more than it should be, and we should get away with that, I think. Yeah, so we've got lucky there. Like I said, just chip little bits away. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this, and I'll be weird, I'm just testing the sharpness of the blade. I'm only doing it gently, so I'm not actually cutting myself. But I'll be able to feel if it starts to get a bit dull. So I'm just going to reposition my mic. Cutting into my chin. Yes, as I'd had some comments before about some people not being able to hear things as well, so I did invest in a little clip-on mic. So hopefully the sound quality will be improved somewhat. Let me know if it is, if it was all worth it or not. Hopefully it was. I mean, it wasn't that expensive, because for the one that I found the review of is not that, it wasn't that expensive, and the reviewer actually, he says he has his own channel where he reviews gear, and he actually used it as part of the review. The actual thing, he's shown that he was using it in the review, and it sounded good. And some of the tests I've found, I think it sounds a bit better. You can hear more, so I'm not having to strain my voice, and sometimes I forget to do that. I did try another one, but when I tried it clipped to myself, it was just too hot, and he was with this as well a bit. I took the the pop filter off, that little foam cover off, because that was causing it to be too hot, and it was like so. This, I don't need it. It's really more of a protection against the wind, and I'm not going to get much wind in my office now, am I? So this is almost done to the extent I need to. So I'll just lose all bits of background off here. I can cut that off there. And so now I shall cut out the missile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the missile over through here. So I'll probably have to, what I'll do actually is I will use those so they don't stick out. And again, this bit of wood here, there's not really much I'm going to be able to do about that. So it's just going to look a bit weird, or I could actually have it. What I will do is I will lose this bit here. I'm going to round these off a bit. It shouldn't hopefully take too long to make. Because I'm sure people aren't going to want to hear my waffling. So I'll cut through that, out to that here. And we'll see how it looks once I actually cut the missile out, which hopefully shouldn't take long. as you can see, I've used a missile from this page before. What I should do is, I know I can just find other pictures of these again, but I should actually scan this in. But this one, I don't want to break up my recording time to do it for this one, so this one is going to be this use only, but I can keep the, what I will do is I'll stick that on to there so I can remember the name of the missile and I can look it up again. And this will go back in my list of source material to be used again. Now here I'm going to cheat to get the stroke line. I'm going to use my ruler. Some people say it's cheating, but it's not it. It's not like I have many copies of this picture, so, or any other copies of it. So if I want to use a ruler to get this straight line, I will do so. This is coming together very quickly, and here we go. See, sometimes it will angle off like that. Sometimes the ruler is also helpful to actually just hold the thing down so it doesn't lift up as you're trying to cut. All things to think of, and for collage, one of the a good essential one, as well as the things you cut with, is a good solid metal ruler. I usually use plastic ones, but I've just, the knife would then end up burying itself into the actual ruler and cutting the ruler. So I ended up buying in 1998 from a stationery place in Coventry, a big place, this metal ruler. And there I also got a special stapler, which I can't find now, where, because I was doing my own magazines, and the stapler, as normal staplers go like this, and it was long. They usually, you could buy a longer one, but it still wouldn't fit into the page. But what this one had is it had a portion here that turned around, so you could then do it like that and like that, and you could, it would help you staple bindings for things, for booklets. Very, very good stapler. I wish I knew where it was. It's somewhere. I don't think I've thrown it out. So I don't ever remember it breaking, and I wouldn't throw out anything that useful. Since I don't do the magazine anymore, I haven't done it in a very long time, I haven't used it. So you know how things go with these kind of things. If you stop using them, you can sometimes tend to lose them. That's why it took me a while to find some of my vinyl, some bits of vinyl, because I don't really have the size of the house thing where I could put a vinyl player somewhere and have the vinyl out, so it ends up getting put away, and I just end up listening to the music, most of the music I want to, either on YouTube or Spotify, and so it ends up falling by the wayside. Anyway, so that's a missile cut out, and so if I slide him in here, this work seems to fit very, very well. So I'll just tidy it up a bit. So sometimes when you cut these out, you've got too many in the way of straight lines, so I like to just curve out the edges a little, the corners. Makes it look a bit better. And as all, sometimes with these things, especially it's got dark bits, I will darken the sides where I've cut, because something like this would usually be cut by scalpel. I know some people can do very intricate cutting with cuticle scissors, so, but that's not where my talent lies. So this is it all pretty much cut out. So these are all the elements together. So next thing to do is put it together then. Hello again. So here is ready to put together, and I've got my glue. Get the other stuff out of the way. So the first thing I will assemble together is the snake and the rocket, the missile. So first I will glue this bit of wood here, bit of tree that's left here, and this under here, just to fix it all together. So fix it all in and see if I can get this to sit in properly, because I did cut through here, and that's worked together nicely. And now I shall attach this little bit of snake here to the missile. Now you've got the two bits of tree there, but there's really nothing I could do about it. I don't think it really takes away from it. I mean, I would say that because I'll just justify it to myself. But now let's see how this, where this is going to fit on the page, what the positioning should be. It should be like there, in contrast to the it's almost like a counterpoint, and that's kind of X or cross to the thing of the child. I could have it straight there, but that doesn't look, I don't think it looks a bit unsatisfying that way. Or I could have it going that way to go along with the child, almost. So this could be, because this is basically almost like the positioning of the actual original image, but this way it's almost like it's in counterbalance to life, or as in it's in opposition to life, or in opposition to, so I think I'm leaning more towards that way. I'm definitely not going to put it like that. I mean, that's what the original missile image is, but it just doesn't look satisfying. And that, I don't know, having it all the same way works very well. In my head I thought of having it like that, but once I seen it together, I think I probably am going to have it like this. I have to make a decision now, because it's not like it's something I can fix in post. And the original idea was wondering maybe if it was just going to be the snake and the missile, but that just seemed to me, again, unsatisfying, and it just didn't seem to be enough. So I'm not, that's one of the reasons why I'm not that keen on doing the whole idea of just the background image. To me, it just doesn't always, sometimes it does, but it doesn't always seem satisfying enough. It doesn't seem I've done enough. Well, it seems like there's something wrong, but it is, those pictures do still have their uses. Anyway, so this is how it's going to be put on together. So that's that on there. Let's trim this, because I don't have anything glued over the edges, so I don't have to worry about cutting through wet glue. And I shall sign it somewhere. Sign it here. And I know I said I had a title in mind, but at the beginning I just came to it when I actually made the piece, and now I've actually kind of forgotten it. So this is what is now what I could think of now. So it's a I would say like choke. I was thinking about choking life, but it's like the snake is choking the missile. So I'm not going to go for the choking analogy, because if anything, the snake would be around the child. So I will call it Against All Life, because that can easily be said what nuclear weapons are really. They have no other purpose, and it's not like even using a conventional bomb where they're bad enough, but at least you can use the thin excuse of surgical strikes. There is nothing surgical about these things. It is just is literally, when you think of a weapon of mass destruction, there's nothing worse than a thermonuclear weapon, or even an atomic bomb, but definitely thermonuclear weapon. They serve no purpose than just like um, than just blind, unthinking destruction. So, or the threat of blind, unthinking destruction. If you believe, mutually destroyed, the concept of mutually assured destruction works, their existence stopped them being used. Now, that's not an argument I'm going to go into here. It could just be a case of maybe mutual assured destruction actually did work, or it's a case of we just got lucky and it happened to work. But but deterrence can still fail. So that's as much as I'm going to go into on this video. So let me know what you think, whether you like this piece. I'm very pleased with it. I'm glad I did had it tilted that way as opposed to that way. Certainly wasn't, because I certainly wasn't going to have it straight up in this instance. If it was just the snake and the missile on its own, yes, the missile would have been straight. That would have made more sense. This, it's and there could have been a case for it to be on its own, with it being straight up, and that's something I could do in the future. I could just, like, because I will scan this in, I could just digitally remove the background. That would be very, very easy. So I could have both iterations of what I could do with it, but just not how I wouldn't be able to have it the original angle, which was a bit more like that. I don't think that really worked in this case. So let me know what you think. The description has my link tree, which has my merch links and my socials. And like, share, and subscribe, obviously. Please do talk in the comments. It helps everyone. It helps a lively discussion, and it helps me with the dreaded algorithm. And I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.